Okay. It is, oh my goodness, I'm a minute late. It's 6:31. It is April 11th. It is Monday, right? It is a new week. A lot to do. We didn't start the fire. That's a probably better song to go with. You're right. My name is Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. We are here. This is what I call the 6:30 Club. This is where, for about 15 minutes, I go over some of the sectors of the market, some things in play, what the media's obsessing about. I rant a little bit about what's pissing me off. But all in all, we just try and be constructive, learn about each other's process, get ready for the day so this way you can make some money, maybe string a few days together, a few months together, then hey, all of a sudden you can be doing this for 22 plus years with a receding forehead just like me. All right, let me say hello to my dogs around the world. Let's see, who do we have? We got Belmore in the house. That's the other side of the 135. I'm from Saasip. Germany in the house, Brooklyn. We got It's front and center. We got DeQuesta. P-Train's always here. Good to see. Very consistent. I love seeing how consistent people are. It's the only way to have success is by consistency. What up, North Dakota? How you feeling this morning? We got Neve in the house. We got Texas. Detroit. What up, Cracker Jack? We got Weehawk and tuning in, the New York City trader. Who's in New Jersey now. What up, Austin? Uruguay. We got Highland Park, New Jersey. That's cool. Good morning, Alyssa. Good morning, right? Always got to say good morning. Every day above ground's a good day. We got Philly in the house. What up, Repsol? Yo, yo. How you feeling? Okay. You know what? It's 9:32. I think we have like a lot to go over. What up, Philadelphia? I passed by you when I was on the Metro North on my way to D.C. to say hello to my dad, who is on an honor flight. Very cool for him. You know, South Florida does this thing where they take, like 100 veterans, they put them on a plane and they honor them because, you know what, when they came back from Vietnam, it wasn't like they were honoring them, and they had no choice. They were friggin' drafted. Anyway, so here we are. It's a new week, and I feel like there's a lot of pressure everywhere. Pressure to be long, pressure to be short, pressure to be involved, where sometimes it's just a little trickier. You guys remember last Wednesday, I tried to figure out a way to play Star Wars with the Force. I'm like, there was a change in the Force. You know, what did that mean? It meant last Tuesday there was a bearish outside engulfing day where tech got very heavy, and now is your day to switch gears. That was your day to say, hey, you know what, we've had a great active sequence from March 15, 16, 2 weeks where you were able to be in 10, 15, 20 stocks, and then all of a sudden, you know, things changed where things felt more vulnerable. There was a change in the complexion, and as an active trader, you had to switch some gears. And if you did so, the rest of the week, you know, wasn't as painful because there were definitely some pretty vicious moves in some of the growth areas. But then there were other things to do. You know, some money went to the banks, and gold got a little better, and you just had to continue to, you know, be fluid and be on your toes and not be stuck. So, AMD, yeah, AMD's been a leading indicator to the downside. AMD's been very, very weak ever since the Red Dog reversal at 123.59. I don't remember how I remember pivots. You know, today I got lucky to remember to take the garbage out on Monday, so I don't get yelled at by my wife. But I remember that Red Dog reversal, and that dragged down all the semis. And now AMD is less than 100. So there's always something to see and always some way to navigate it. And that was like a clue that, hey, you know, maybe mega cap tech and some other areas in tech are going to be weak, especially if the guts of tech, which are the semiconductors, aren't acting so well. So anyway, Alexa off. Let's get down to some business here. You know, I'm feeling a little lethargic today, but every now and then I gotta get in the zone, right? Trading in the Zone, a very good book by David Douglas. If you happen to be in a rut, pick up Trading in the Zone. I don't know, it just came to me. But anyway, so if you look at the chart of the SPYs, which is up right here, which I'll put up, sorry about that, you'll see that this was the day that I was talking about. This day right here, this was last Tuesday. Remember last Tuesday, I tried on Wednesday to, you know, I'm here by myself. I don't have a production team. This isn't NBC, Fox, where I have a team of production assistants trying to give you guys some cute things to look at. I tried to put, you know, the change in the Force, and that was on Wednesday. So right here, when you went above Monday's high and couldn't hold it and closed below that low, that right there had me go from like 15 longs down to like 3 or 4. And then if you remember, we were able to side swipe Wednesday. And then, you know, kind of went inside for 3 days. So what do we know coming into this week? Let's talk about what we know. We know that 443.54 is last week's low. Sometimes I say you can't get too bearish if that holds. So I'll say it. You can't get too bearish if this holds. Okay, and then we'll see. Maybe we go a little sideways, and then the banks start with earnings on Wednesday, and perhaps it tries to take out 450. But it does feel like, there's more, downside pressure versus, people in a rush to be long. And if you look at the Qs, you'll see a different story a little bit. The Qs on that Tuesday didn't even have enough power to get above the prior high and closed below 362 right there. So that gave me some clues also to bring some risk down on that day. Also, a lot of the stocks are acting super special. Remember, okay, good morning, Badger. Remember, I'm like, you only want to hold things that are acting special, that are making it easy for you to sit in, where you could buy a dip and maybe even add on strength and sell some into a move above. Well, on this day, that fully changed for tech. Okay, so you had that Tuesday down move, which gave you downside follow through. And if you look for 3 days, you couldn't even fill this gap. So we gapped lower into lower prices. That means the technology sector was on sale and nobody wanted it, right? What do I mean by nobody wanted it? Well, it couldn't fill the gap to relieve some of the pressure. So that just showed you that, that sector was that weak. So you had to be very careful. So thank goodness on Friday, we closed on the low there. So there was really no reason to be long anything in tech, the way we closed on Friday after, a bar like this, after a move like we saw since early March. So those are all reasons, to not have risk on. That's why I'm in like almost nothing. I have some leftover options that, I had options in stock, and then I got stopped out of the stock, and I just kept some options on because I already took the premium out. So I'm like, what, it's fine. So now what? So 348.50 is last week's low in the Qs. And right now I believe the Qs are probably opening right around there. The Qs are opening. If you look at the Qs, I'll just put it up this way. The Qs right now are 345.96. Okay, so down a little less than 1%. So 345.96 is below the low here of 348.50. So the way you could simplify it is say if the Qs stay below 348.50, chances are the pressure could stay on tech, and you might even see a move to 341.55. If we reclaim 348.50, that probably means you could buy some of these tech names that are down today versus a 5, 15, 30-minute low. Some guys like, Red Dog, what do you mean by a 5 or 15 or a 30-minute low? I'm like, well, sometimes a stock will put a low in the first 5 minutes and bounce off that low. And then you could say, hey, that's my new point of reference. I could buy versus that low because it was just down multiple days. And then maybe you have a nice trade. Sometimes it'll bounce off that 5-minute low, and then all of a sudden, market goes up, it can't go up, shows some relative weakness, breaks the 5-minute low, and then after 30 minutes makes a new low, and that low is a little bit, just that one sticks, and then you could try it versus that one. Maybe you lost a little bit of money trading it versus a 5-minute low, but then all of a sudden the 30-minute low sticks, and you make that money back, and it has a change. So I can give you like an example, like Tesla, for the first time, in a while, I'm coming in with no Tesla. I probably should be short Tesla, but I have no Tesla. Why? Because Tesla, to me, lost special status right here. First of all, you had a Red Dog reversal sell after an awesome sequence. This was a fantastic sequence in Tesla from 842 all the way up to 1150. You had a bull flag right here. It took out one pivot, took out another pivot. Lots of ways to make money with Tesla. It was fast. It was furious. It made my first quarter. I made a lot of money there. Then what happened? You had a Red Dog reversal sell. That was the same Tuesday that the S&P put a Red Dog reversal sell in, and the Qs were heavy. So, why wouldn't Tesla, the leader of all of it, give you the clue of that? And then remember this 11:15, we pivot. Well, it didn't hold, and it gave back the entire Monday. So right there, the bears were able to take back an entire day for the first time. So Tesla, to me, lost super special status, which means as an active trader, I'm also an investor long term. It's a whole different story. We're not going to get into that. But that right there said, get out of the way. And then you had a gap, right? A gap like I showed you in the Qs. It didn't get filled. That means Tesla came down to like 1022, and nobody wanted that empty gap, meaning, they didn't think that price was good enough, so they kept that gap open. So that usually gives you clues that you can continue in the direction of that gap. So lo and behold, Tesla's down, 35 points or so, down 39 at 986. So you have 976. The 21-day is where? The 21-day, let's put some some moving averages up. Yeah, there's the moving averages. The 21-day is 1,009. So we're now below the 8-day. Remember, I'm like, if you're in a momentum name, you don't need to sit in it if it's below the 8-day or the 21-day. It all depends on how active you are. Well, this closed below the 8-day. So some people might be short Tesla. You're allowed, right? You're an active trader. I'm not shorted. I'm not in any options. I'm just out of the way. So for today, it could be an opportunity to use that strategy for a 5, 15, 30-minute low. Like right now, Tesla's 986. So just say in the first 5 minutes, it goes to 980, bounces to 985. 980 is your point of reference. These are micro day trading tactics. Everyone will say they don't day trade, but you know what? A lot of people day trade. So you could trade versus 980, and then all of a sudden, hey, maybe the market comes in, it holds there, and then you get some kind of move off that 980 level back to maybe tries to test the 21-day and doesn't get above it, but you just made $15. Or again, let's expand upon that. Just say the 5-minute low is 980, comes up to 984. Okay, you tried it at 984, doesn't go anywhere, breaks 980, you get out of the way, you lose 4 points, and then all of a sudden it comes in and goes to 976 by 10 o'clock, then it bounces back to 980, then you're like, okay, 976 is your new point of reference after price discovery, and then the market turns and gets a little bit better, and then you're buying it versus 976, and then all of a sudden, then after the 30-minute low, it goes to 1,000, you make 20 points. So you make your little paper cut you had trying it versus the 5-minute low, and then you make on that trade. So that's what I mean. You know, if you're not caught in it, if you sold your Tesla above 1114, you have the luxury of trying it, you know, over 100 points below. So that's how you tactically approach it. So that was a little bit of day trading 101, and I know nobody day trades out there, right? It's beneath you. I'm kidding. You know, a lot of people day trade, and those who say they don't, who try and play a trader on TV. Don't let them fool you. Half of them don't even have friggin' positions on. They just manage money and talk like they know about stocks, so they can think that, you know, they're good at what they do. But anyway, so we'll see what happens here. 976 is a level, so it's a little bit of no man's land. It's below the 21-day, above the 50-day. The 50-day is all the way down here. So maybe there's a chance to buy Tesla at the 50-day at some point this week. You know, Twitter also, like all this. Now he's not going on the board. It's like, come on, Elon, just back and forth banter. It's tiring. Anyway, you know, a week ago from today, I came in with Twitter calls, and it made me a lot of money, and I kept 25%, and that 25% I'm going to lose on. Okay, but I'm not in the stock. Why am I not in the stock? Because this also lost super special status. Twitter is starting to lose super special status when it broke. To me, you know, you could have been, when it broke this 49.30 and wasn't hanging out here and staying tight, to me, I was like, okay, I don't got to sit in the shares. I'm active. Yes, I kept some of the options on. I'm going to lose some premium today and probably lose some money, but it's fine. It's calculated. Your risk is premium paid in options. So now what? You know, it's opening into this gap. So all of a sudden, you know, you could have made money if you sold the strength of it and actually got to 54.55, which was a level. So now I guess we'll see how much of this gap we fill. And the back and forth is probably exhausting for people who are trying to follow Elon. So everyone's, you know, today people probably like Elon antics aren't as fun as the bromance from last Monday. So anyway, what is working for some people? Gold. You know, if you bought gold when it was coming out of this pennant, you know, it's day 3 up, I would trim some. What else is working? Last week, you know, on Thursday, I actually bought some JP Morgan calls. Some people put on some financials that were down 6 days in a row. I'm like, JP Morgan reports next Wednesday. Maybe we could put on some risk. I don't think it's that compelling, but I still have a little bit on. You know, it did a red dog reversal right here. Okay, after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down days. So we put on a little options. I already took off 75%. Maybe there's a little bit more room to here before Wednesday. Uranium names, okay. I can look at URA. Last time I looked at this, I guess was right around here. Yeah, it's, you know, it's above the 821 day. There's some room to a prior high. I don't, you know, yeah, uranium is, I guess, showing some relative strength and trending higher. Oil, by the way, is at a weird look. You know, the oil is going to be testing this 72 area really, really tight. I was one of those who said that I think oil high of the year is in after that big doji, so you'll see what happens here. XLE, oil's down, you got to see. XLE, you know, broke out on Friday. XLE did a little red dog reversal Thursday, broke above 77 on Friday after consolidating a massive move. So to me, that was pretty impressive. So let's see, what's What's XLE doing this morning with oil down a little bit? XLE is down 90 cents. So I would look at the XLE. Maybe you could buy a dip in that. But if the USO breaks that 72, that would be an intermediate shift, so I'd be careful. I would watch Chevron. Chevron is one of the leaders of the XLE. Some of you guys that took it home on Friday, nice breakout right here, nice tight pattern. Some guys bought it on Thursday, added on Friday. So I'm sure Chevron's down a little bit, so maybe that goes from red to green. I don't trade the energy names that often, but in my Redler report, I have 40 names on there, and I always talk about 2 or 3 of the best acting energy names, and every now and then I'll trade them. But you know me, I'm usually trading the FANG names, Mega Cap Tech, and some of the bios, etc., some of the ARC names. With that said, let's look at Apple today. Apple, I'm not in anything on Apple. Apple right here, this candle said, we're not breaking above 179.60 or 182 anytime soon. And also, Apple never filled that gap, right? It gapped down and didn't fill it, and now we'll see what happens here for today. What's the low here in Apple? 169.20. Okay, it's opening below it. Here is the 50-day. So if Apple doesn't hold this 50-day today, it's probably going to mean more downside for tech. Right now, Apple is what, down $1.50 or so, down $2. So Apple right now, the 50-day is right here. You expand this a little bit. The 50-day is 50-day is 168.64. So we're a little bit below. So today's kind of an important day for Apple and tech. A lot of things lost special status. Tech became a bit broken last week. AMD led it lower. So remember I said the pivot before? Oh, look at that. I didn't have a cheat sheet in front of me, but I remembered because I was playing this very closely that, right here, remember we were playing it right there and we had 2 different call spreads for 2 weeks, made a lot of money, and then on this day we got out of the way. You can switch gears looking at chart patterns. You can look at candlesticks, and it tells you how to navigate versus listening to everyone on TV. And right here, into this resistance area, it gave you an outside candle. This is an outside candle in an ascending channel. So if you would have got out on this day seeing the power of the bears, you didn't have to deal with that. And most people in my community didn't have to deal with that because they understand chart patterns. And now what? Look at this 100 area. Wow. 100 area trying to hold no real bounce here below the moving averages. So today will be interesting. Does AMD fall apart and stay below 100, or maybe it reclaims 100, relieves a little pressure, and that would probably help tech for today. So we'll see. But all in all, let's see where's AMD right now. AMD is at 99.35, so AMD is opening below this area. I bet you some traders went home short this. Closed on the lows, no signs of life. But it just shows you how you can make money navigating these things using technicals. And right now, it led NVIDIA lower also. Pepsi, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, thanks for warning us not to chase Friday. Wow, that's cool. I don't know, I'll take a quick look at Pepsi. So I guess you're saying, I would say recessionary retail was really good. Like I made money on Target late last week. A lot of guys made money in Walmart. Okay, Walmart, look at this. I wish this was a tech stock. There aren't any tech stocks like this. This is Walmart. But if you just trade chart patterns and look around and have filters, this Walmart was an unbelievable buy. Above 146, broke above 152, got to 157.50. That's a great technical chart. It's Walmart, It's good for a lot of people in America probably own Walmart in their long-term accounts, so congrats to you guys. I did play Target, and I reduced Target on Friday. Why did I play Target? I'm like, hey, maybe it could play some catch-up. So I bought it at 220, sold some, I still have some, so we'll see. For this to say super special for me, it's got to hold 230. If it holds 230, maybe it builds a nice little bull flag, and I stay with it, and I use my tier system, I add some more, and then it goes because there's a huge void up here. Some of you guys made money with Costco. Nice looking pattern also, right? Costco right here, nice bull flag above prior resistance, gave you a nice gap up into those figures. So there are things to do. You just have to be really in control, really prepared, really selective, because you get caught chasing something at the wrong time, or you overstay your welcome, you can give money back, and that's not what you want to do if you trade actively for a living. If you have your process and routine and you're on top of things, you could follow the money, you could use your day count rule, you could use your tier system, and book it and move. Book it and move. Right now, XBI kind of lost its relative strength status. I played it. I actually made good money with my options into this. This also did a red dog reversal sell right here at 96.29 after a move from 88-ish. right there, pushed above, couldn't hold it, and then broke below this ascending channel. So now you have to see, does it hold 87? So there was a way to navigate that. And you did have 2 days worth of gains into that push, so there was a way to use your tier system. Crypto, kind of hanging by a thread here. What do I mean? I mean, crypto's been in just a corrective phase range for months now, and you've been able, there's been ways to navigate it. But for right now, it's where's my little Bitcoin? It's right here. If you trade actively, there was a way to put more risk on right around there when it broke the pennant to the upside. Hit 48, was trying to build a bull flag, and right here it broke it at 45. So if you're very active, that was your spot to reduce risk. All right, I've been tactically trading Bitcoin, and I've been also managing 7 or 8 altcoins. Right here is when it lost special status, and that's when I went to 75% cash. Right here went back to risk on, and then traded the range, more risk on, and then we were able to sell some strength. A lot of the altcoins, like Solom, like we were buying it at 85. I sold some at 125 or 134. There was a lot of things you could have done that with. And then if it would have held right here, hey, maybe there was room to the upside. But you know what? It didn't hold 45, and now it's coming back into the range. So I guess you'll see if Bitcoin holds around 40s, back below the moving averages. You definitely have to be a bit more flexible. Another clue was you had this huge conference in Florida with all the Bitcoin enthusiasts in the country, and it couldn't go up. And I'm sure they all went home, I got to buy Bitcoin, it's going 100,000. And if Bitcoin couldn't go up during that conference, what does that tell you? A little relative weakness means it needs more time, be careful. There was a time when, I remember this, when actually all the meetings of the minds met, and that's when it actually triggered. That was in July of 2023, and they had this awesome active sequence. So there are active sequences, and I'm not saying this one is over, but this move, which was like $10,000 in Bitcoin, is now coming into a spot. Let's hope this holds. Otherwise, it's going to be choppy, lethargic, and not an interesting trade. If it holds and maybe gets better, then there could be more upside. Sometimes you have to be super duper active, and sometimes you have to say, hey, I need to sit on my hands and wait and see, because I want the asset class, the sector, the name, the market to tell me, versus me having an opinion on what's going to happen over the short term. You have a lot of friggin' complicated headlines out there. Inflation is still higher. The Fed's raising rates, at least a half basis point in May, and probably a few more. You have the worst part of the Ukraine, the Russian invasion of the Ukraine, probably going to happen. As those headlines are going to be crazy. So just keep the powder dry, keep your brain sane, keep working on your process, and we'll see what the day brings with plan A, B, and C. And if you have multiple plans, you're always going to be prepared. Good luck today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it.